this video we're going to carry on with iteration and look at while loops for IGCSE Computer Science. So as we spoke about in the last video, iteration is the concept of repeating a sequence of instructions until some form of exit condition is met. So we've gone through one of those types, so we've got controlled counts or count controlled loops, precondition and post-condition loops. Now in the previous video we covered the for loop, which is the example of a count controlled loop where we know how many times our iterations will be carried out. So if you do for I in range 10, it's going to roll 10 times. A precondition loop is where we're not sure how many times or at all our program will loop. So it might be a case of it keeps asking somebody to enter the answer to a question as many times as necessary until they get it right. Well, if you get it right first time, it's not going to ask you again. So that's where we use a while loop or a precondition loop. So how it works is it repeats sections of code whilst a control condition is true. As soon as the condition evaluates to false, it exits. So if it's true, or yes, you're going to keep looping around and looping around and looping around. As soon as that changes and goes to no or false, it'll continue with the rest of the program. So precondition, what do I mean by that? So as we've said, the while loop is a precondition loop, and this is because the exit condition is always checked before the statements in the loop have been executed. So this is true even if it's the first time it's going round. So it's actually possible that a whole section of code will never actually execute in your program. So your exit condition, so unlike a for loop, a while loop doesn't have to have some form of numerical condition. It can have any logical condition, just like an if statement. So it could be whilst age is less than 10, whilst complete equals true, whilst name equals Jim, whilst age is greater than 17, or age is less than 31. You can do any sort of logical condition that you can do with an if statement can be used with a while loop. So there's an example of some pseudocode using a while loop. So we've got password as string, valid length as boolean, and we're going to set valid length to false. So whilst this variable is false, so in this example the loop will run at least once, we're going to input the password, and if the length of the password is less than 8 characters, then it's going to say your password's too short, and then it's going to loop around again, and you're going to input it again, and you're going to input it again and again and again until you get it right. However, if your password is greater than 8, then it'll set valid length to true, so it'll go back to the top here, and it'll check and say, right, it's not false, it's true, and it'll end the while and finish. So we've got an example of a flowchart. So remember, in the exam you can use flowchart or pseudocode. Now I prefer to use pseudocode personally, but if you prefer flowchart, that's absolutely fine. So we've got our first check. This is like our while loop check. So we still use decision just like you would for an if. So is valid length false? Yes it is. Or you could say true. Password's input. And is the length of the password, so password.length less than 8? No, it's not less than 8, which means it's true. We set valid length to true, so it goes back to the top. And is valid length false? No, just set it's true, so it continues with the program. However, if password is less than 8, it'll output too short and go back to the beginning. It'll still be false, and it'll keep looping round essentially forever until that is correct. So here's an example of a while loop used in both Python and Visual Basic. So we've got password valid length false. It's very simply, notice that VB is a lot more similar to pseudocode than Python is, but here's two examples of using it. So we've got password.length and line password less than 8, print password's too short, console.write line password's too short, and so on. And these are all valid pieces of code that will loop for an indefinite amount of time until you enter a password that has more than 7 characters. So here's an example of pseudocode again, just to have you out. So you put while condition and then your statement. So for example, while age is less than 18, output you're too young to watch Joker because it's an 18, end while. Now a common error people do when they're writing pseudocode is accidentally creating an infinite loop. So this occurs when the exit condition can never be met. So for example here, we've got declare age integer, age is input, Then whilst age is less than 18, it's too young to watch Joker. Now, I then asked to put the input back in there, or what I could have done is move this ages input inside the loop. But quite often people don't put this part in, and they'll just put output whatever, and what would actually happen is your screen would just get spammed with your too young to watch Joker constantly on loop forever, and you wouldn't be able to get out of that loop unless you close the program. So what you do is you'd either move this into there, or add a statement again, which you could say is slightly less efficient, and then what would happen is you can then re-enter it. So you can put 15 and it says you're too young to watch Joker, so you put 16 and it says you're too young to watch Joker. You then put 25 and it'll break out the loop. So you've got a chance to rectify and change this exit condition. And that's pretty much it. So make sure you subscribe please, and I will see you in the next video where we're going to look at post condition loops.